Morning, ma'am. This is Shivraj Islampure. I want to talk on the topic of hydrogen and sustainable fuels. Hydrogen fuel is a zero carbon fuel burned with oxygen, provided it is created in zero carbon way. Hydrogen energy is locked up in enormous quantity in water, hydrocarbons and other organic matter. One of the challenges of using hydrogen as a fuel comes from being able to extract hydrogen efficiently from these compounds. There are many applications of hydrogen as a fuel. Some of the potential applications are production of electricity, heat and water for various end uses, industrial applications, vehicular transportation, residential applications and commercial applications, including in telecom towers for providing backup power. Applications of hydrogen as an energy source in India. Hydrogen is a byproduct in chloro-alkali industries. Earlier, a part of it was non-energy applications and rest was either flayed or vented out in the atmosphere. With the passage of the time, awareness about its usage of energy applications increased, and up to 2013 to 14, around 90% of byproduct hydrogen was utilized for production of chemicals and captive mainly energy applications. We also know that hydrogen also used as a rocket fuel. Rocket fuel is a major use of hydrogen for energy. The National Aeronautics Space Administration NASA being using liquid hydrogen in the 1950s rocket fuel, and NASA was one of the first to use hydrogen fuel cells to power the electrical systems of spacecraft. And by this picture we knowing that hydrogen is used everywhere nowadays to transportations as a fuel and etc. At more places hydrogen used as a fuel. And the energy security, the United States become an exporter to petroleum in 2020 with exports surpassing imports, although imports of 7.86 billion barrels per day remained an important part of balancing supply and demand for domestic and international markets. Overall, the transportation sector accounts for approximately 30% of total US energy needs and 70% of US petroleum consumption. The hydrogen energy is locked up in enormous quantity in water, hydrocarbons and other organic matter. One of the challenges of using hydrogen as a fuel comes from being able to extract hydrogen efficiently from these compounds. Now, steam reforming, which combines high temperature steam with natural gas, accounts for majority of the hydrogen produced. This method of hydrogen production occurs at temperatures between 700 to 1100 centigrade and has a result efficiency of between 60 to 75%. And the hydrogen uses are hydrogen fuel can provide motive power for liquid propellant, rockets, cars, trucks, trains, boats and aeroplanes, portable fuel cell applications or stationary fuel cell applications which can power an electric motor. Hydrogen is considered as the primary sustainable source of renewable energy and is highly required for advanced energy conversion system. And let's know about hydrogen vehicle. A hydrogen vehicle is a type of alternative fuel vehicle that uses hydrogen fuel for motive power. Hydrogen vehicle include hydrogen fuel, space rockets as well as automobiles and other transportation vehicles. Power is generated by converting the chemical energy of hydrogen to mechanical energy, either by reacting hydrogen with oxygen in a fuel cell to power electric motor, or less commonly by burning hydrogen in an internal combustion engine. Hydrogen and fuel cell technology. Hydrogen is the simplest and most abundant element in the universe. It is a major compound of water, oil, natural gas and all living matter. Despite its simplicity and abundance, hydrogen rarely occurs naturally as a gas on Earth. It is almost always combined with other elements. It can be generated from oil, natural gas, and biogas, or by splitting water using renewable solar or electrical energy. Hydrogen is used in many industrial processes. Nearly all the hydrogen consumed in United States is used by the industry for refining petroleum, treating metals, producing fertilizer, and processing foods. US petroleum refiners use hydrogen to lower the sulfur content of fuels. Hydrogen uses in vehicles. Hydrogen is considered of an alternative vehicle fuel under the Energy Policy Act of 1992. The interest in hydrogen as the alternate transportation fuel stems from its ability to power fuel cell in zero emission vehicle with no emission of air pollution, its potential for domestic production, and the fuel cells production for high efficiency. A fuel cell may be 2 or 3 times more efficient than the internal combustion engine running on gasoline. Hydrogen is used for exploring outer space. The National Aeronautic and Space Administration (NASA) began using liquid hydrogen since 1915 as a rocket fuel. The NASA was one of the first to use hydrogen fuels to power the electrical systems on spacecraft. Hydrogen fuel cells produce electricity. Hydrogen fuel cells produce electricity by combining hydrogen and oxygen atoms. The hydrogen reacts with oxygen across an electrochemical cell similar to that of a battery to produce electricity, water, and small amount of it. Let's know about the fuel storage. Hydrogen energy content by volume is low. It makes storing hydrogen a challenge because it requires high pressure, low temperature, or chemical process to be stored capacity compactly. Overcoming this challenge is important for light duty vehicles because they often have limited size and weight capacity or fuel storage. Let's go to production cost. To be competitive in the marketplace, the cost of a fuel cell will be to decrease sustainably without compressing performance from at least one original equipment manufacturer. The predicted cost of the mass produced fuel cell electric vehicles could be similar to the cost of their hybrid counterparts by 20. Public health and environment. About half of the US people lives in the areas where air pollution levels are high enough to negatively impact public health and the environment. Emissions for gasoline and diesel vehicles such as nitrogen oxides, hydrocarbons, and particulate matter are major source of this pollution. Hydrogen powered fuel cell electric vehicles emit none of these harmful substances, only water, H2O, and warm air. The hydrogen, when used in a fuel cell to provide electricity in a zero tailpipe emissions alternative fuel produced for diverse energy sources. And the occurrence and storage of hydrogen. Occurrence and storage. Speaking on its natural occurrence, it is the most abundant element in the universe. The sun and the stars composed largely of hydrogen. Astronomers estimate that 90% of the atoms in the universe are hydrogen atoms. Hydrogen is a component of the more component that any other element. Water is the most abundant compound of hydrogen found on Earth. Currently, drivers of light duty fuel cell electric vehicles can fuel up at retail station in less than 5 minutes and obtain a driving range of more than 300 miles. Research and commercial efforts are underway to expand the limited hydrogen fueling infrastructure and increase the production of FCEVs. The advantage is it's readily available, it's basic earth metal and very abundant. However, it time consuming to separate hydrogen gas from its companion substance. While that may be the case, the results produce a powerful clean source. It does not produce harmful emissions when it's burned, it does not emit harmful substances. Basically, it reacts with oxygen without burning, and the energy it releases can be used to generate electricity, used to drive an electric motor. Also, it does not generate carbon dioxide when burned. No, not unlike other power sources. The disadvantage of it is it's expensive. While widely available, it's expensive. A good reason for this is that it takes a lot of time to separate the element from others. If the process were really simple, then a lot would have been doing it with relative ease, but it's not. Although hydrogen cells are now being used to power hybrid cars, it's still not a feasible source of fuel for everyone until technology is developed that can make the whole process a lot more simpler. Then hydrogen energy will continue to be an expensive option. Thank you.